Hey y'all, hey! Welcome back to the channel, all my late blooming babes. It is me, your host, and your late blooming bestie, Dom, and we are back with another video. It is kind of cold out here today in old Florida. It's actually very cold, but had to do a video. So what we're talking about today is when you're dealing with a narcissistic relationship or a toxic relationship, you have to develop the ick early. The sooner you develop the ick, the better off you'll be. Now, what is the ick, might you ask? Well, it's literally where you are no longer fooled by the manipulation, the scare tactics, the lies, any of the things that a narcissist or toxic person does to try to keep you stuck in the trauma bond with them, in the negative relationship with them. You just no longer going for it. The charisma, you don't find it appealing. No matter how good they look, they're not good looking anymore. The personality is just blah. You recognize the things that you are going through and you are very turned off by it. You have to develop the ick. It's when you take those rose-colored glasses off and you see them for who they actually are, which most times when you're dealing with this type of person is a liar, is a manipulator, is a cheater, is an abuser. And abuse comes in many forms, whether it's physical, emotional, financial. They're usually pretty shitty people. So like I said, the sooner you develop the ick for that, the better off you'll be. It's one of those things that narcissistic and or toxic people thrive off of, is having you blinded by the delusion that they are such a great and wonderful person. And that's what keeps us stuck in these nasty relationships, even though we know, this isn't good for me, this doesn't make me feel good, until we actually develop that ick, or we stop believing in the things that they're telling us, when we stop believing and hoping that it's going to get better, or that they'll eventually change, or if I keep doing X, Y, Z, they'll be A, B, and Z, when the truth of the matter is, more often than not, we've seen the red flags, but because we are so hopeful, because we think that it will improve if we keep trying, we stay stuck. But once you develop the ick, there's nothing they can do, there's nothing that they can say, there's no charm or joke or anything that they can do to make you see them than anything other than what they actually are. And like I said, once you develop that ick, it's over with. But it's a matter of getting there. How do you develop the ick for a person that you feel like you cannot leave alone, that you can't stop dealing with? Well, one thing that really worked for me when I decided, hey, this got to be over with. I did the removal prayer, and I just prayed. I remember vividly, I was literally in the shower and I just boo-hoo cried, and I'm just like, I just don't feel like this is right. God, I know this isn't what you have for me. There's no way that this is what you want for me, your child. So any emotions that I have about it, good, bad, or otherwise, just take it from me. I don't want to deal with it anymore, and just let your will be done in the situation. You can develop the ick that way, literally asking God to remove that person out of your life. You can also write down everything that you went through. A lot of times when we try to force ourselves to stay in these relationships, all the negative stuff that happens, we push it to the back of our mind in order to try to keep pushing forward. Of course, that weight will eventually compile on us and weigh us down. It's one of those reasons why we stay shrunken in these relationships. But literally, write it all out. Everything. Every negative thing that has happened whilst in this situation with this person. Again, once you really write it out and you start opening those chambers that you've had locked in the back of your mind, that has all the negative stuff that you didn't want to deal with because you didn't want to end the relationship, once you really start writing it out and that stuff starts to flow out, you will eventually see that you have went through way more bullshit than you even realized. And that will quickly help you develop the ick, because someone who's really for you, who really loves you, who really cares about you, who's really your person, wouldn't take you through all that stuff. And then when you really see it in front of you in the physical, you can't ignore that. There's no way you can ignore 3 pages of bullshit that you went through just for the sake of a relationship and still continue forward in that relationship knowing that this isn't for me. So like I said, once you really develop the ick for a person, there's no coming back from it, because you no longer look at them with the rose-colored glasses of optimism. You really, like I said, you look at them for the type of person they are. And once you really see who they are, see them for who they are without their mask on, it's a wrap for them. So yeah, really sit down, write out what you've gone through, talk to a trusted friend about what you've gone through. I would say don't bother talking to the person that you're trying to get away from about it, because one or two things will happen. They'll either A, gaslight you and just make it seem like you are tripping, that you are the problem. It will be flipped on you, because of course, like I said, like I've said before in another video, they always have to be the victim. So once you come to them trying to tell them what they're doing to you and how you feel like they need to change, they're just going to flip that back to you and make you the villain in the situation, because they have to be the perpetual victim. So I wouldn't even worry about talking to them about it. They could rage out on you, which again will make you just shrink back into yourself, and it'll make you want to drop the whole situation, which is their goal. They want you to drop it because they want you to get off your square of where you're standing firm on wanting to be done with it. They want to knock you off of that. So if they can get you to flip on what you're thinking about and turn it into, well, I wouldn't be a problem if you didn't do X, Y, or Z. If they could flip it on you, then they've won. So I wouldn't talk to them because of that. I also wouldn't talk to them because, again, they could go the other way and put the mask back on. And when they put the mask back on, they can be any and everything you always wanted them to be in order to reel you back into the relationship. And as soon as you reel back in and you're comfortable, you're going to be going through the same shit again. And it's going to be worse this go around, because they know in the back of their mind that you are ready to leave. You have one foot out the door. So they are panicked by that. They're paranoid. They have this abandonment issue anyway, and they feel like you're on the cusp of abandoning them as well. And because of that, it'll make them lash out towards you, even though they want to do the opposite as far as not pushing you away, but their disorder just won't allow it. So that's my tips on developing the ick and why you should and how you can go about it. Like I said, once you do that, and I can attest to this because you guys know I was in my situation for almost 20 years. But once I really sat down and started learning about what narcissism is and realized, oh, that's what this is. That's the type of relationship I'm in. And I really prayed my removal prayer, and I started writing down all the stuff that I had went through and some of the stuff that I had pushed to the back of my mind that started to come into the forefront. I literally had 3 pages full of stuff that was done, that was negative, that should not be done in a relationship if you truly love and care about somebody, let alone a marriage. And it just helped me develop that ick. He literally went from a person that, in my eyes, just, oh, my man, to, what do you want? You know? And unfortunately, you have to get to that place in order to move on and grow and heal out of these dynamics. So, hope this helps someone. Follow, like, share, subscribe, all the things that you're supposed to do on YouTube, because we're going to grow this channel. When I first started, I wasn't too pressed about growing the channel, and I'm still kind of not, just because this is my journey. This is my way of healing and getting it out there, because like I said, I knew a long time ago that something in my relationship dynamic was not right, but I didn't know what it was. But once I started looking into it and, you know, looking at other content creators who talked about narcissistic relationships and things like that, it was like, oh, so eye-opening. So if I could save anyone from having to go through the struggles and hurdles that I went through with my information and my content, that's what we're here for. So like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. And until next video, hope this helped.